Hey everyone, welcome to the Gentleman Scholars Club. Today the topic is loafers, specifically what to do if you have a pair of loafers that you like that's just a little bit too loose. I'll be discussing two cost-effective / cheap techniques to fix that. Stay tuned. So it's widely known that the loafer is the most challenging or tricky shoe to fit well. One of the reasons for that is the absence of a lacing system. If you think about Oxfords, if you have one that's a little bit too loose, you can simply adjust the laces, pull them a little bit more tightly in the eyelets, and it will likely hold to your foot better. The same thing goes for monk straps. If your monk strap is not fastened all the way up when you first try them on, you can pull that strap and put the prong through the last hole in the strap, and it will conform to your foot better. However, with a loafer, you're relying entirely on the leather and the shape of the shoe to conform to your foot. There's no play that you can use in some sort of fastening system like laces. Secondly, a loafer is more minimalist than these other kinds of shoes. Right? If you take a look at these, right, you generally notice that there's a little bit more leather at the heel cup, at the back, around here at the top, whereas a loafer is more minimalist. They tend to be low cut, and so there's simply less material to conform to your foot, and therefore you have problems with loafers that are too large flopping around. So when that happens, if your shoe is a little too loose, you can send it back, you can try sizing down, you can wait for other shoe options. However, there may be some situations where you really like the pair that you have and you want to adjust them to fit you better. So these were a pair I bought from Scarosso, the German shoe company with an Italian name, though these are made in Italy. And I was looking online for dark brown suede with or without tassels, and I wanted the brown to be a very particular color. I do find that when you look at brown suede loafers or dark brown suede loafers, they're not really that dark. They're more toward a mid-brown, and they often have a lot of red tones in them. The reason that's a problem for me is I like to wear a lot of brown trousers. I wear brown trousers that have a little bit of red in them. I wear some that are more gray-brown. I wear some that have a little bit of black tone in them. And so you need to wear the right shade of brown suede to accommodate that. And when looking on various devices, I found the Scarossos had the darkest and the correct tone that I wanted. So I ordered these in my usual size, 43.5 EU, 10.5 US. When they arrived, they were quite comfortable, but I noticed there was a gap at the back toward the heel. Now, it wasn't too large a gap that my feet were flopping in and out of the shoe as I was walking, but it was enough that I could have sized down by half a size. And that's something you may often have to do with loafers, is to size down. Of course, if you're buying online, it's challenging because you have to pay and wait and send things back and forth. Always better to try them on in the store. But in this case, there was no 43 EU or 10 US left. They were sold out. And so I really liked the color, otherwise comfortable. I liked the look of them. I wanted to keep them. So I did some research and found a couple ways to make them conform to my foot a little bit better. So the first thing you can try is something called a tongue pad. And these are small wedges of rubber or silicone coated on one side with a peel and stick backing and on the other with a soft felt-like material. They're under $10 on Amazon. You can find them in other places for comparable prices, so pretty inexpensive. You get 6 of them in a pack for under 10 bucks. And what you do with them is you peel off the tape area and you stick them under the tongue of your shoe, just like that. And what that does is it helps to push your foot back slightly in the shoe because you're adding a little bit more material here, shoving your foot back gently, and your foot will fill some of that gap at the back where the heel cup is. So by far, this was cited on the internet as being the most effective way of making looser shoes fit. So the second option is to try wearing thicker socks. Now, 90% of the time I wear my loafers in the summer, warm weather, with a smart casual, dress casual outfit similar to what I have on here, sport coat, casualist shirt, odd trousers. And so I find that the no-show sock with loafers works better than wearing regular socks with a calf high or knee high. And wearing a thicker version of a sock is actually more possible with a no-show than with a regular sock, because if you do a calf high or a knee high sock in a thick weight, it's going to add more warmth to your outfit. It's also going to look really bulky around the ankles, look really wintry, and it doesn't really work out for summer. So try to get no-show socks and then get the thickest version possible. Now this can be challenging because by definition, the no-show sock is supposed to be minimalist, and they market the product as being barely noticeable, so you don't really know that you're even wearing socks. This means they can sometimes slip off your foot. But that negative also transfers over to being really thin, and so you can't really find really nice thick ones. However, you can look for something in kind of a terry cloth or a toweling-like material, something with a cotton pile-like material, which can add a little bit more volume to your foot to help fill the gap in the back of your shoe. The reason that this can also be difficult is if you get that type of sock and you have a low vamp loafer, which means that this area is pretty minimalist, the vamp running from here to here, the no-show sock that's a little bit thicker might show around the sides of the tongue. So that can be a trade-off, but see what you can get as kind of a secondary solution after trying the tongue pad. The third possibility I wanted to mention is something called a heel grip or a heel pad. And this is a lightly padded material, either made of leather, suede, microfiber, silicone, that has a peel and stick backing, and you sort of wedge that into the heel area of the shoe and stick it there. These can be hit or miss, because the glue is sometimes weak and inferior and doesn't stick at all to the back of the shoe. Works probably better with firm backing, so something that has, a calf lining or a suede lining, which is fairly stiff, right, will hold nicer. If you have something like an espadrille, a canvas backing, that doesn't work as nicely because the shoe is too flexible and the glue won't stick. Second problem with these heel grips is that they also tend to be too thin. So if you stick one in there, they don't actually add enough volume to fill in the gap after all. It's just a waste of time. You never want to double them up either. If you find them to be too thin, you might be tempted to lay on another heel grip, so you're having two, one stuck to the other, but they barely stick to the shoe in many cases, and they certainly won't stick to each other at all. Their lack of stickiness also is exacerbated by the natural act of walking or putting your shoes on and off. When you put your shoe on, you jam your foot into the back, into the heel area, and that presents a downward friction that could easily just knock the heel grip right off. Take your foot out, you're doing the same thing but in an upward motion, and can strip it right out of the back of the shoe. And then when you walk, your foot has a natural movement, up and down motion, and that can also just get rid of the heel grip within a very short time. Some people talk about wearing it for a few minutes and it comes right off, and they even talk about how the glue has damaged the back of the shoe. So kind of a warning about trying those. There are some on Amazon that have good reviews. I would use them as a tertiary option. Go with the tongue pad as your first choice, and then try to get a thicker sock. This is kind of a third resort compared to the other two possibilities. So in summary, the techniques that I've outlined work best if you have a loafer that is only a half size larger or less. If the shoe is flapping around, there's a lot of gapping in there, you should just give up and size down or try a different brand or a different model of shoe. If you do want to try these, go with the tongue pad as the first option. Secondarily, try having a thicker sock. And then thirdly, you might want to go with a heel grip or a heel pad. None of these solutions is perfect, but it's best to get a shoe that fits you well. But in the case where you size down and it becomes too tight, if you have a shoe that you really like, or if you have one foot that's smaller than the other and you can't go bespoke, these may be the best choices for you. Some people say you should go with a tighter shoe and rely on the fact that the shoe will break in and stretch out over time. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You might end up with blisters and painful, the front area of the shoe might be painful. So better to try something a little bit loose and work with one of these techniques as possibilities. If you found this useful, like the video and follow us at Gentlemen Scholars Club for more tips, more discussion of brands, classic men's style, and timeless menswear. As always, thank you for watching.